Hi, welcome back to Chapter 2 of Dan Gutman's The Homework Machine. The last time we left our friends, they found out that Britton's homework machine actually does their homework. Let's read one and see what goes on next. Britton, grade 5. Of course it worked. I put the system together over the summer and started using it for my homework starting in September. I really have nothing against doing homework, honestly, but it can be time consuming. Having the machine do the homework for me allows me to pursue other interests. I want to find out more about psychology, physics, and medicine. I hope to find a cure for spinal cord injuries someday. There are only 24 hours in a day, unfortunately. The homework machine gave me more time. Sometimes I wish I lived on Venus or Mercury. Do you know that it takes 176 days for Mercury to make one rotation? And it takes 243 Earth days for Venus to make one rotation. So a day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days. How much more could one accomplish in a lifetime if one day lasted that long? On the other hand, it would suck to live on Jupiter. A day there lasts only 10 hours. You can't get much done in that time at all. Plus, the planet is pretty much a giant ball of gas, which would be difficult to live on. Miss R., 5th grade teacher. Sadly, Brenton is not challenged enough at our school. We simply don't have the resources to stimulate his mind properly. He needs to be in a school for special students like himself. He should be taking high school level classes. I certainly enjoyed having him in my class, but sometimes I felt he was very bored there. I have to teach for all the kids. In October, we did a special project in which I asked the students to design a catapult. You know, those machines they used in ancient times to throw rocks and things. I thought this would be a good assignment because they would be learning about science, history, and physics, and they'd be having fun at the same time. Well, all the kids came in with these adorable little catapults made out of popsicle sticks and plastic spoons and rubber bands. Except for Brenton. His catapult was the size of a desk. It had ropes and springs and pulleys and levers. It even had a computer chip in it to help you aim the projectile you were firing. I didn't even understand it. It was simply amazing. We took all the catapults out to the playground and had a little contest. Most of them didn't work very well, but Brenton threw a basketball over the school. I was sure that Brenton's father must have done all the work. Parents do that sometimes. And I knew that Brenton's father was a very smart man who worked in the computer industry. Mr. Damagachi told me he didn't even know Brenton knew how to make a catapult. That was after Brenton brought it home and stored it in the garage. You want to know about the catapult? I did a little research into Greek and Roman history. The basic principles of the catapult were known back into the 9th century BC. I merely refined them. But basically, all the parts of the catapult need to be proportional to the size of the torsion springs. It's simply mechanics, really. That kind of thing was fun for me. I never would have used the homework machine for something like the catapult project. Sam, grade 5. Catapults are cool. Miss R showed us some website that said that Romans didn't have gunpowder back then, so they used catapults to fling boulders and burning garbage and even dead bodies at their enemies in a war. Can you imagine you're fighting somebody and they start heaving rotten food and stuff at you? War was cool even back then. That was the first time I ever had a homework assignment that was cool. Judy, grade 5. I didn't like the catapult assignment at all. I didn't think that war was an appropriate subject for us to study in school. There are more important things for us to learn. Kelsey, grade 5. My catapult sucked. I could barely throw a ping pong ball 10 feet. Everybody cracked up. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the paper popped out of Brenton's printer and the worksheet was all filled out. After we realized the homework machine was for real, we were all talking at once, asking Brenton how it worked, how he invented it, and how smart it was, and stuff like that. Brenton, the machine is simple, really. The scanner scans the worksheet and feeds the data into the computer. That's no big deal. I modified pattern recognition software that would interpret the words and numbers to figure out what is being asked. If the information is already in the computer, such as the sum of 2 plus 2, the computer simply spits out the answer and the printer prints out a duplicate copy of the worksheet with the answers. If the information is not in the computer, such as the diameter of the Earth, the computer automatically goes to the internet where virtually all the world's knowledge is stored in digital form. It seeks out the answers from the most reliable website, cross-checks it against other websites, and then the printer prints it out. The most difficult part was designing the software to print the answers in a typeface that looked like my own handwriting. It's not science fiction. It's pretty basic stuff, really. I'm surprised nobody else thought of it before me. Sam, grade 5. Once I see that thing in action, I go ballistic. I say to myself, this is better than Edison's invention of the light bulb. This is better than the Wright brothers' invention of the airplane. This is the answer to all my prayers. Homework was the one thing I hated more than anything else in the world. Homework was the thing that made life so difficult. If I play my cards right, I say to myself, I'll never have to do it again. Suddenly, I realized that for all his dorkiness, Brenton was the kind of kid I really want to hang out with. Judy, grade 5. When this piece of paper popped out of the printer, I felt like I was witness a history-making event. Brenton, grade 5. There was only one thing I never told anyone. Shortly after I started using the homework machine for my own purposes, I received a mysterious email. It was from somebody who said he'd like to meet me. That's all it said. At the bottom of the email, there was a name, R. Milner. I knew better than to respond to strangers online. He could have been crazy or a child molester or whatever. I ignored the message. Kelsey, grade 5. It was cool, definitely cool. I couldn't wait until we got our next homework assignment so we could try it again. That's the end of chapter 2. Next time maybe we'll find out who this R. Milner is. Have a good day.